Global alliance isn't a contract you sign and forget. It's a relationship. And sometimes a relationship doesn't fall apart with a bang. It crumbles with a moment of silence, a handshake that's left hanging, a conversation that suddenly turns cold. And that's exactly what happened. Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on something that jolted the world stage. Because when Donald Trump speaks, the world listens. And this time, he didn't go after a country. He blamed a single man. One Indian official, and in his own words, claimed that this one man destroyed the US-India relationship. So who is this man? What really happened behind those tightly shut diplomatic doors? This isn't just about politics. This is about power, pride, and the rise of Indian diplomacy that refuses to bend.
Before we get to the man, we need to understand the nation. For decades, the world viewed India as a developing country, a polite way of saying not a threat. They saw crowded streets and poverty, but what they missed was an explosive hunger to rise. Today, India is not just participating in the global economy, it's driving it. India is the fastest-growing major economy in the world, beating global giants. While other nations manage stagnation, India is building and scaling. From a pharmaceutical powerhouse exporting vaccines to over 70 countries to the world's third-largest startup ecosystem, this is a generation saying, we won't just take jobs, we'll create industries. This isn't just about survival. This is a masterclass in strategy. The India of smart capital and billion-dollar valuations is here, and the West is watching because they know when 1.4 billion people start winning, there's no going back.
Sometimes all it takes is one unblinking gaze to disrupt the balance of global power. This is exactly what happened when one Indian diplomat stood across from one of the most unpredictable leaders the world has seen, Donald J. Trump, and he didn't flinch. Trump, a man who built his empire on loyalty and dominance, was used to owning a room, but not this time. Sitting across the table was Dr. S. Jaishankar, India's External Affairs Minister, a man of few words but immense strategic weight. In that room, in that moment, one thing became crystal clear. India wasn't there to bow. It was there to be heard. Trump made headlines not because of a policy, but because of something personal. He told the world that one Indian man had destroyed US-India relations. That single sentence was more than a grievance. It was a revelation. It told us that global politics is not just about agreements. It's about people, ego, and emotion. Trump didn't feel dismissed by a nation. He felt rejected by a person. He was upset that someone dared to say no to him. The loudest power isn't the one that yells. It's the one that doesn't blink. And that quiet resistance, that unbending resolve, is what shook the room. Jaishankar wasn't there to flatter egos. He was there to demand respect. He challenged the very assumption that India could be managed, steered, or softened. And that defiance, Trump read as a personal rejection. That's what sparked the fracture. Not trade, not defense, but the refusal to validate his worldview. This moment matters more than people realize, because it was a public declaration of a new kind of diplomacy. For decades, India played the silent partner. But this generation of Indian diplomacy is different. It doesn't ask, it asserts. It doesn't plead, it positions. India bought the S-400 missile system from Russia despite U.S. threats of sanctions. India chose neutrality during the Ukraine conflict, despite Western demands for condemnation. Strategic autonomy wasn't a buzzword, it was a line in the sand. India isn't asking for a seat at the table anymore, it's claiming it. Jaishankar became the symbol of this new India. an India that values dignity over deals, that doesn't fear losing favor. This is the mindset shift that teaches every rising nation, every young professional, every underestimated individual, you don't have to fight loud to be strong. You just have to know who you are and stand for it.
So here we are, looking back at a moment that could have strengthened an alliance but instead nearly broke it. All because two men, both powerful, both unwavering, collided. Trump, fueled by ego. Jaishankar, powered by principle and strategy. In the end, when Trump said it wasn't India that failed America, but one Indian, he admitted something bigger, that sometimes dignity is mistaken for defiance, and sometimes standing tall means walking away alone. History will decide whether that was destruction or the beginning of a new kind of diplomacy. What's your take? Share your thoughts below and don't forget to subscribe to the Bharat Ascent for more power moves on the global stage.